Hey everybody, welcome back to GEMPIRE Collectibles. I am GEMPIRE, and today we're here with every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hardcover and trade paperback in the GEMPIRE, or the GEMPIRE library, whatever you want to call it. So, I didn't want to call it every hardcover, because I think there are some one-offs here and there that I don't have. But what I do have is the full run of the original Mirage series, the full Archie run that's been released so far, and the current IDW run. So we're going to take a look at the books, what they cover, what's inside, look at some pages. You know how we do it. So, to kind of try to start chronologically here, we're going to talk about the initial Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, or is it Laird? Laird? Originally published independently by Mirage Studios, which was their company. So, on my left here, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Ultimate Collections, volumes 1 through 6. And this is the Color Classics, the Works, or the Pizza Boxes, volumes 1 through 5. These all collect the same issues, except for these are in color. So there should be one more book happening here. So they include issues 1 through 7, Michelangelo, Raphael Micro Series One Shot, which is the first appearance of Casey Jones. And this also has annotations by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird and more. Just looking at the back of this one, so this covers the first 7 issues plus Raphael. Okay, so let's take a look at the insides. Let me see if I can show you guys together so you get an idea of what the pages look like in color. Well, first of all, let's do this. So here's the cover of the volume 1 of the Ultimate Collection. Kevin Eastman art, which has a very distinct style. Here goes the inside of the hardcover. Volume 1. So, the original issues were published in black and white. So, the covers had color, but the initial art was black and white. So, let's see if we get to the front page of this to just kind of show you guys how they did in color. So, these are designed like a pizza box. It's called The Works, fresh and delicious. Looks like a pizza. Right? So here's that first same page in black and white and in color. Maybe not the best example because that is like a shadow picture. And here's your first kind of like splash page. So that's the difference. This is the Color Classics, reprinted in hardcovers. So I double dipped to have black and white and in color. I thought it would be cool. So when they first created the Ninja Turtles, if you ever watch, they have like a documentary. It's called like, is it The Definitive History of the Ninja Turtles? Where basically Kevin and Peter had already teamed up and were working on some independent stuff. And one day, Kevin draws this crude-looking turtle with, you know, a ninja turtle. And I think he had that actual drawing on Comic Book Man, and he was trying to auction it off for $1 million. I don't know if that ever happened. But anyway, you know, he creates this ninja turtle, and they make a very, like, a Frank Miller Daredevil type of parody using the Foot Soldiers as the main heroes, and the Foot Clan or the Foot are their ninja enemies, which is very similar to the Hand, which are the ninjas that Daredevil faces. Here goes Casey Jones. So obviously, it became a huge success, right? I'm 33 years old. I grew up with the Ninja Turtles. I was always a Michelangelo guy as a kid. I think most of us grow up and become a Raphael guy, but as a kid, I was always into Mikey. Here goes Volume 2. Well, actually, so I think I'll just do 1 and 1. So we'll look at some of the artwork in the color classics. Now, I know people were probably going to ask me, do I prefer the black and white or prefer the color? I couldn't choose. That's why I bought both, right? I mean, the color is definitely, I definitely like the color classics, but I like having them in their original format, too. Something about that I just like. Here goes TGRI. Is it, no, TCRI. In the movies, in the 90s movies, they made it TGRI. I don't remember why they did that. Alright. So Volume 2 collects issues 8 through 11, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Leonardo Micro Series one-shots, and that's it. Same exact thing here on Volume 2. So yeah, each of the books, they contain the same issues. Huh. Look at this with all the snow. That's Cerebus. So back in the day, they would cross with a couple of other characters from other universes, like Cerebus, Usagi Yojimbo. Look at him with a little tail. Kind of looks like a little wiener there. Cool stuff, man. I don't know how much I've read of the original series. I know I definitely read a good chunk of it. But I got to sit back and just reread these one day. This is really cool art. Goes the Cerebus stuff in color. Well, let's find that snow panel in color, because the snow is looking really crazy in black and white. So here's what it looks like in color. Or if he gets that new kind of bandana, it's pretty cool. So the thing, oh, here's the same panel. So the Ultimate editions, I believe those are out of print. I don't think they're available on in-stock trades. The works come and go. So one time when they all were released at once, a bunch of us in the group just jumped on it, you know, because again, you get these brand new books for half off cover price. That's really the reason why I jumped on these. These I had to hunt down. So Volume 3 includes issues 12, 14, 15, 17, and 19 through 21. The stories Survivalists and Unmentionables and Dome Doom. The multi-part Return to New York. And some more annotations. This contains the same, but it doesn't really say about those extra storylines. I'm not really sure. Here's some more artwork. Black and white. I think, you know, this run and The Walking Dead, I think, are the only comics that I've really read in black and white. Never bothered me. I've got Rachel Rising, and I know that's supposed to be pretty good too. It's in black and white. Here's where you start getting into those guys from Dimension X. Well, I don't know if it's where it starts, but that Triceratops looking guy. Look at this big, huge panel. Now I gotta find that in the color works to see what it looks like. Here you go, getting different kind of pizza with all the crazy toppings. There's my Triceratops looking guy. This is pretty cool. So they still all have red bandanas in this run so far. They started off all wearing red. Okay, so here's our Triceratops guy. See if I can find that panel. I feel like it would be when he first got introduced. Yeah, here's Return to New York cover. I remember about, oh, here it goes. Pretty cool stuff, man. Yeah, I think the color, you get a little bit more out of the color. So I guess if you were looking, you know, I know I would get a question on which one should I buy. The color classics are probably easier to find, less expensive, and you get, I think you get a little bit more out of the color stuff. But it looks like they still need to make one more book for the colors to catch up to the Ultimate Editions. Volume 4 includes TMNT issues 48 through 55. Oh, hold on. Yeah, 48 through 55. The story Shades of Grey, and the 6 parts of City at War. Yeah, this has the same exact thing on the back. So I'm not really sure why it jumps. Maybe somebody can help me out in the comments. Does it become Tales of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they skip the numbering or something? As far as I know, they don't have a Tales of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hardcover. I mean, I could be wrong, but not that I'm aware of. Great artwork, though. I mean, in black and white, you could appreciate the details and the shading and stuff. So, I mean, I guess it just comes down to personal preference, you know? The works. He was the same scene, much darker in the graveyard scene here. I like reading books that are not too wordy like this. Like, I like when you let the art speak. You know what I mean? I don't want to read just walls and walls of text and, what do they call it again? I forget the word. It's gonna kill me now. Exposition. See, you would be knowing some shit now. Alright, so the last volume of the works, and the fifth volume of the Ultimate Editions, collects TMNT 56 through 62, the conclusion to the epic City at War storyline, and all that jazz. Alright, so let's take a look at some artwork here. Yeah, looking at this shit, I really want to read this. Right now I'm reading Avengers by Jonathan Hickman. I'm not really loving it, to be honest. I'm going to do a recent reads on it when I'm done. I like when, you know, most of these collected editions have the original covers on them. But it's funny, the Jonathan Hickman Avengers doesn't. I don't even know. It tells you what the name of the issue is, but it doesn't tell you, like, if it's Avengers 23 or whatever. So I don't really like that, to be honest. I guess I'll talk about that more in the recent reads. Fighting the Foot, pretty cool stuff. All right, and then we'll take a look at the last. Have I been showing the cover? By the way, the cover price on all these are $50. Pretty sure. All the spines are white. I'll show them before I move on to the next thing. Except for the volume 1, it's red text. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, this collects 29 TMNT short stories created between 1985 and 1989, handpicked by Kevin Eastman. The work of Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, Jim Lawson, Steve Levine, Michael Doomy, and Eric Talbot and Steve Bissett and more. So you know what? Maybe they won't do a sixth volume of the works because this looks like it's not part of the continuity. I look at Turtles with like other superheroes. I see like Batgirl and shit like that. This looks like it's from issue 1 or something. Oh no, you know what it is? I remember that panel right here from that documentary I was telling you guys about. The definitive TMNT history. I love that documentary. I watched it a few times because it talks about them creating the comic. Then it jumps into how they got the show, and then how they got the toy deal, and then how they started doing the movies. It was pretty dope, man. Talking about the success and the world tour shit they would do. All right, so let's put these all together. So I'll show you guys like the spines and the covers, because I don't know that I really did a good job of showing the actual book. Boom. 1 through 6. Here's volume 1. Volume 2. Tray. They're all like wraparound covers. Pretty cool stuff, man. As a Turtles fan, this was a must-have for me. I remember the first things that I was ever into was He-Man, Transformers, and Ninja Turtles. So here goes your volume 5. They all have this pizza box look and feel to them. Every time I think about these books, I remember when we ordered these, when they all were released on in-stock trades at one time. It didn't ship right away like in-stock trades normally does. And I just remember somebody commenting, I want my pizza boxes. So every time I see these books, I always fucking think of that, man. This shit's funny, man. Alright, and your big boy. Alright. Enough of that. 17 minutes on that junk. Now I'm going to talk about these trade paperbacks, the Archie series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is heavily influenced by the cartoon. I fucking love these books. I remember seeing singles issues of these in like the corner stores or the 7-Elevens back in the day. I think like my first comic ever, I went to New Jersey and they had like a bodega inside of my grandmother's apartment building. And she bought me a copy of Mutanimals, which was like a spin-off of the Turtles from characters from this book, like the Manta Ray guy and the fucking Chameleon guy and shit like that. So I think these are all cool. They're like 4 issues, I believe, or 5 issues in each. $20 price tag on them, but they come out on in-stock trades. I think you get them for like $12 each. So this one actually, yeah, issues 1 through 4. This is the comic book adaptation of the cartoons for the Return of the Shredder and the Incredible Shrinking Turtles. Shredder comes back to Earth from Dimension X to exact his revenge on the heroes. So, yeah, this, I believe, they had a mini-series of 1 through 3, and then it started again going 1 through, wherever it ended. So, the artwork is like the cartoon. I think I've read through like the first 4 volumes of this when they came in, and it's very goofy and campy, and I had to end up picking them up the rest and flipping through them. But I like the artwork though. I mean, it's cartoony, but it's still like, I still enjoy the type of artwork. I always remember this. I had this shit as a kid, man, with the shrinking turtles, with that crystal. This collects issues 5 through 8 and introduces more mutants. This is also, I believe, where they go to outer space with this cow that licks them. So when they get a cow lick, and then they go to other dimensions, it's crazy. It goes Bebop and Rocksteady. They have to do this wrestling thing similar to like an X-Men Mojo thing, and Raphael gets this all-black costume, and he wears it for a while. It's pretty cool, man. Remember this guy was from the video games and shit? Crocodile guy. Look at this. It's looking like Groot. Yeah, so here's Raphael in that black costume. There's a cow. That interdimensional cow. Here goes volume 3. Collects Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures 9 through 12. I see on the back the Rat King. You remember we all had that toy. Yo, I used to have mad Ninja Turtles toys. That was my shit as a kid. So I'm pretty sure all these comics were just like to help sell toys. There's a cover here that's a cover swipe, I think. It's a dope cover. Let me see, do they show it? With this chameleon guy. Yeah, they do have the covers here. Yep. This was like a cover homage to the first Raphael issue, that first one-shot that has the first appearance of Casey Jones, but here it's with this chameleon guy. Loved me some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. Here goes volume 4, issues 13 through 16. I don't know that we need to keep showing all the art. Kind of getting long on time here. It obviously gets a little bit more refined throughout the volumes. Oh, then you have Mondo Gecko. You remember this guy? He's in here. This is issue 17 through 20. I remember. Oh, here goes your Manta Ray guy. Going through my local shop, I remember they got in like a bunch of these, and I started to buy all the single issues, but they didn't have the whole run, so I was like, fuck it. Here goes like your Mutanimals or whatever. Oh yeah, here goes. So this is issues 21 and 22, and the first 3 issues of Mighty Mutanimals. So I wonder if this has that comic I'm talking about. You know what? I might have that comic here. Let me see real quick. I'm going to show this. This goes with this video. When do I still have that shit? Yep. Damn. So I've had 20 short boxes of full comic runs, but I always kept this book. I'm pretty sure this might be my first comic book ever. Number 5. This is the one I was talking about, man. Got that in the bodega in New Jersey. Young as hell. That's crazy, man. That's cool that I still kept it. So that's crazy to think that that's reprinted in this here then. No, it's not. We'll see if it's in one of these, because this says that's number 5. All right, so this volume, this is issues 23 through 27 of the Turtles Archie series. Oh, I remember this guy. Looks like Fing Fang Foom, right? I think he's on the cover of the issue. Yo, one of my favorite characters of all time, Slash. I love me some Slash. Here you go, Slash again. Huh. I guess the Krang takes over Shredder's body or something? Damn, it's pretty cool. Oh, here's the thing with that Fing Fang Foom guy. Issues 28 through 31. Damn, they don't got my Mighty Mutant Animals. Mutanimals. Look at the artwork here, it's pretty cool. It's cool, man. You get the cartoon version of the Turtles in comic form. Damn, this has 38 through 40 of the series, and then Mighty Mutanimals 6. So they skip issue 5. But hey, I got it right here, baby. Bridging that gap. So here's the cover. Some cool artwork. Here we go, issues 41 through 44 and Mighty Mutanimals number 7. They did me dirty, but that's so crazy how the one issue that's not reprinted is the one that I have. That's pretty cool. I don't know how much we want to flip through these, man. It's kind of, it becomes the same old shit. But, damn, man, I still got a gang left. This collects issues 45 through 50. It's a thicker book. They're in space, of course. Oh, pretty cool, man. Huh. Then we have issues 51 through 54. It's all like the same type of artwork. I don't think we need to really keep covering too much of it. Volume 13 has issues 55 through 57, Mighty Mutanimals 8 through 9. Now here goes the cover. Wonder why they didn't reprint issue 5, man. This is the most recent one that came out. Collects issues 58 through 61. So, man, you get 61 issues plus some of that Mutanimals spinoff of the original Archie's Turtle. You can't even ask for any more. Like, that just makes life complete. Before I keep it moving, my man T. Gudo sent me this one day out the blue. It's just a blank cover of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 51 with a sketch, and it's signed by Kevin Eastman. It says "To Gem." I always appreciated this issue. I always keep it, even though I don't collect singles. I always have that on deck. All right, before I look at these, no, we'll do these first. So, some people ask me, like, what website do I check for what's coming up? And there is a good website that people use in the Omnibus group. I forget what it's called. I don't know if it's Previews World or whatever. But I like to just go through in-stock trades coming soon because they update it every so often. And then if I see something that catches my eye, I add it to the wish list. So I saw these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe trade paperbacks. So I put them on my wish list. And I figure if I ever have like an order that I need to bump it up to make it $50 for the free shipping, I throw one of these on there. I'm not really sure what series this is, if it comes before or after the current IDW run. It looks like it collects issues 1 through 5 and 6 through 10. It's a chip off the old block, but one with its own sense of humor to boot. These are a $20 cover price, but again, in stock trades, you're going to get a discount. It looks like it's a new series. There's some artwork on it. It's volume 1. Volume 2 has, that robot Donatello. That's why I thought it kind of had to do with the current IDW run, because that plays a part in that run. But here goes the robot with Donatello, so I guess he's not inside his brain's not inside the robot in this series. Alright, so that's enough of all that. The last, real quick, we'll talk about this hardcover that came out, which is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo hardcover. I like Usagi Yojimbo. I read the 2 hardcovers of the first volumes, the Fantagraphics volumes, and I have to jump into the Dark Horse run. But yeah, it looks like it takes place in the Usagi Yojimbo world. Stan Sakai, the Japanese writer and artist. It's just like a little crossover book. Yeah, so I think they might have hardcovers for like that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman storyline, which I did read, but I never bought the hardcover, if there is one. Anyway, these books we really want to spend some time with, right? This is the current IDW run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which if you're a Turtles fan and you haven't read this, I'm going to need you to pause this video, hit the like button first, get off your phone, go find these hardcovers, go download the single issues, buy the trade paperbacks or something, because you won't be disappointed. This is like the definitive Turtles run. It's a great series, great story, great artwork. Volume 1 here, got Raphael on the front. They have a $50 cover price, but I think a couple of these are out of print, man. So it might be harder to find, I think, like this volume. This contains the first 12 issues of the new series. So it starts off, it's like a reboot. But I really like the mythology behind this run. The mythology behind it is that Master Splinter and the Turtles were humans in feudal times of Japan, and they were murdered by Shredder, what is his name? Hiroko Saki. And they were reincarnated as the Turtles and Splinter. So there's like a spiritual aspect to them, which I think is really cool, man. And it kind of plays on that a little bit in the first arcs. I haven't really seen it in the recent stuff. They haven't really gone back to that yet. But it's pretty deep, man, and like how they talk about how the ooze brought them together and they were reincarnated through these animals, and it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? It's definitely more mature than the Archie run. The first Turtles run was pretty mature too, but it got really goofy. And it's funny because they end up going into Dimension X and other kind of crazy shit too, but it just is more believable, I guess you could say. Some great new characters and new mutants. I forget what this guy's name is, this cat. I think I'm pretty caught up on this series. I used to read them digitally as they came out. So I'm due for a reread sometime soon. That's Volume 1. Volume 2 is the Shredder cover. That it collects issues 13 through 20. These are like the wraps around like a weapon. Here's the back. Let's see, some deep stuff with Casey Jones and April O'Neil, and Casey Jones got like an abusive father who's the head of this Purple Dragon gang, and Casey Jones does whoop ass in this story. And even though him and April are younger, I think they're teenagers actually. Yeah. Here's some neutrinos. Remember neutrinos? They're back. Here goes Krang. Krang's introduction is badass in this book too, man. It's like a real warlord. He comes from, they show his other species and his brothers and stuff. Here goes, I think that's part of that right there. And how his species is, they're just conquerors. That's Volume 2. Volume 3, Leo on the front. Collects issues 21 through 28. Oh, you know what? My bad. So, Volume 1 has the first 12 issues, plus Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, and Splinter micro series one-shots. So you get 5 one-shots. Volume 2, those are the heroes one-shots. Volume 2 has the Casey Jones, April O'Neil, Fugitoid, Krang, and Baxter Stockman micro series one-shots, plus the Secret History of the Foot Clan miniseries. This collects issues 21 through 28. Also has Old Hob, which is that cat mutant. Alopex, which is like a white Arctic fox mutant. Karai, Hun is Casey Jones' dad. Bebop and Rocksteady, and Shredder micro series one-shots, plus the 2012 annual. So this collects those villain one-shots. And that 2012 annual, they have like a big absolute edition sized hardcover for that, but I didn't really feel the need to buy that. I mean, I had an issue in here. I don't really need a big ass thing for one issue. So these comics also start out where they're all wearing red bandanas, and then they eventually get the color. So that's a cool monumental part. There was Slash. Slash here is a huge, overgrown, like, dummy. And they're scared to death of him, man, because he's fucking strong as hell. And he eventually, I think, gets really, really smart. Something happens to him, I believe. And it's almost like the Beast from X-Men, right? Like this big, beastie, smart-ass animal. Cool, that's volume 3. Volume 4's got Donatello. Collects issues 29 through 37. The Utrom Empire miniseries and the 2014 annual. They still haven't done a Mikey cover yet. I think Shredder is volume 6, which is coming out soon. I've read up to like issue 50 something of this series already, and all those one shots. I used to torrent this shit, so I would read it every Wednesday. I would torrent all the new Marvel Now stuff and all the Turtle stuff, and I was caught up. Here goes Slash, because he's big as hell. And then volume 5, the most recent one to be released, with April O'Neil on the cover. Why'd they go with April instead of Mikey or whatever? Who the hell knows? But it collects issues 38 through 44 and the TMNT Ghostbusters crossover. So I'm pretty sure that Batman crossover is going to be in like volume 6. So I don't know if I need to really get a separate hardcover for that. I'm sure I could actually check the solicitation to see what it covers. So here, this is like a different artist, and it gets a little cartoony, but it still has the same tone. So, what issues is that? Yeah, so they're still not even, they haven't printed to what I'm caught up with yet. Here's the Ghostbusters stuff. The Ghostbusters stuff didn't really have anything to do with the main story. It was just, what do you call it? A side story. Yeah, I actually do have issue 50, I believe, of this series too. I bought it because this was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was solicited as a Jack Kirby variant cover. And it was issue 50, which was like a big death of one of the characters in there, which they didn't stay dead. But when I bought it, you know, at the time I was CGCing books, and I was like, this ain't gonna get a 9.8, so I just always kept it just for the hell of it. But I think Eastman and Kirby like worked together on this original drawing, and it was just used, you know, for this variant cover. I think it was like a 1 out of 50 cover or some shit like that. So like I have like maybe 20 single issues of just some bullshit. You have these 3 Turtles issues, first comic ever, and the other kind of stuff that I have that I just like, I'll show you real quick. They're books that I had from when I was younger or whatever. So I always like this book, The Simpsons #1 with the Fantastic Four cover swipe. Beavis and Butthead #1. I always thought it was a big deal when I bought it as a kid. Like, wow, first issue of Beavis and Butthead is going to be worth a lot of money one day. And then I always like this cover, man, this Dark Claw. Remember that DC Marvel amalgam shit? Anyway, damn, this video went pretty long, man. So that's gonna be all for every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hardcover and trade paperback in the Gem Mint library, in the GEMPIRE. The GEMPIRE strikes back. I haven't done one of these collected edition videos in a while, so I figured I'd put this out here. I do have the live show with Milton the Manimal tomorrow. I forget what time we said we're doing it. We're doing it at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Talking the history of the X-Men. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more collected edition videos, recent reads, statue reviews, CGC Spotlight. I got 2 big CGC books coming in. Not Amazing Fantasy 15 big, but some good ones. Some big keys in 9.8. So make sure to subscribe, hit the button so you can get updates, especially for when we go live. And please like Gem Mint Collectibles on Facebook so you can be up to date with what we're promoting and what we're going to put out. I did get requests to do every Wonder Woman omnibus, every Teen Titans, every Justice League, so I'm going to work on those. And I got a lot of statues coming in. I got like 8 statues coming in, so we're going to have a lot of content coming up. All right, but that's everything for now. Thank you guys for watching. Stay minty. Peace.